What's going on, everybody? Today is Thursday, June 6th, 2024, and we are back. All three of us are reunited to chat some
Finally.
challenge. Yeah. All Stars 4 is going on. It's been pretty crazy, pretty wild. Can't wait to get into it with you guys. So let's not waste any time. Let's kick the sucker off. All right. Of course, my name is John Dunphy Stuckey, standing Miss Laurel. I did go back to her this week. I was pretty down on Laurel.
Yeah, you were not happy with her last.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still kind of down on her for this season. She's going after Kara so hard, but I decided to return to her. Of course, joining me is Miss Gina Morgino, standing no one at all, and Mr. Kyle Petty Mitchell. Is that for Jay?
It is for Jay. It is for
okay.
Jay. Justice for Jay. We saw a different Jay today than we have seen ever before. Really excited about him. Can't wait for him to come back. Yay, Jay!
So before we get into this episode, it was called episode 10, which was called It Was a Good Jay, which immediately made me think it's not going to be a good day for Jay.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, before we get into all this stuff from episode 10, though, I am curious, Kyle, because there's been a lot of drama surrounding some of our favorites like Kara and Cam and Laurel. And because you missed some of our talk from those previous episodes, I just was curious if you had anything you wanted to share about like some of that drama revolving around Laurel, Nicole, and Kara, and then obviously Cam, who is no longer in the game. But
I don't like any of it. I am suddenly fine that Cam is gone. I did not like all this carrying on. I thought it was all very stupid, simply because, Cara didn't want to go with your one vote that one time. Now, I did see a little clip that she was on Banana's podcast, saying that this edit has not really been accurate, and there were certainly some more things that were at play, but we didn't see it. So I'm basing my opinion based on that. I thought you were carrying on way too long about this. I'm tired of Laurel and Nicole. I don't care anymore. I don't care about the drama between Laurel and Cara. I don't care about any of that stuff. None of it interests me, actually. There were 2 great weeks to have missed.
And we were so bummed last week. I was like, I wish Kyle was here to talk about the shenanigans that we are dealing with.
Yeah, like too much. The drama that came in this episode, I actually find to be a little bit more interesting than anything that happened.
All right. Well, let's get into that then. Because I wanted to just give you the chance to maybe, share any thoughts you might have had about some of the previous episodes. But I thought your little summation, that everything was perfect. I thought I'm totally ready
of it. Like it's over. It's over. Let's just be done.
Yeah.
Let's be done with it. Let's go back to the challenge.
Yeah.
Silliness.
All right. So let's get into this episode. Episode 10. It Was a Good Jay. Obviously, coming into this, everybody's wondering how much time there really is to get a star. So people are nervous about that. It seems like we keep running out of time, but I don't know. We'll see.
I know there's got to be some kind of like maybe a purge or something. There does have to be one more opportunity.
Yeah.
Like
maybe again, there's how many stars are there? There's 6.
6.
Yeah, we've got 12 right now.
Right. There's got to be some kind of a something. Like maybe they all go into like an elimination or do something together, and then you pick whose star you want to steal, and you got to face them or something. Like, there's got to be something else.
Yeah.
It can't just be, all right, well, you didn't get one, so snip. Like that's really whack. That's whack.
And it feels like there's got to be something like a purge coming too, because it just feels like there's too many people left for what they keep saying about how this is like so close to the end of the game. Like if you don't have your star, you're out of time or whatever. Like it's like, but there's still so many people.
Yeah, there's still double the amount of people there can be in the finals. So what do you mean?
Right. And isn't there Andrew, there's only like 12 episodes of this season, right? Wasn't this episode 10? Oh, all right. I guess maybe there's not an official number because I keep thinking 12, and I'm like,
maybe I don't remember seeing a number, but I also might have missed it.
Right.
But it's got to be close. And we can't possibly have more than 4, right?
Right.
Like,
That
can't.
seems, yeah.
14.
I think you're,
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Now, there was a lot of like friendships on display here in this episode. One was we got some talk about how tight Adam and Steve are, which would come back around at the end of the episode. So a little foreshadowing. Obviously, we also saw. I love Ryan and Derek's relationship. I thought it was very funny how Derek he was talking about how he wants to win so he can build a retirement home for him and Ryan.
Yes.
I love them. Derek has really impressed me on this season with some of his daily challenge, performances. Ryan, just overall game, I'm impressed with too. I didn't really know how well he would do, but he's been doing pretty well, I think.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
Any thoughts before we get into the daily challenge?
No, not there. No.
Yeah, I feel like that was all pretty self-explanatory.
Yes. So we came into this daily challenge with our star holders being Cara, Steve, Veronica, Adam, Nicole, and Leroy. Okay. And this daily challenge was called Roll With It. Roll with it. This involved each player had to begin in a shopping cart at one end of a track and then must cross the track to collect a star at the other end. Players can cross by lassoing a series of poles to pull themselves along, or by pushing themselves off the poles directly. First male and female player to complete this task, they'd be the winners of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you think of this daily challenge and how it all unfolded?
Snoozer, terrible to watch.
Yeah,
it was going to be end when Jay when Jay worked around the rules. It was just like, I don't need to use this lasso. I'm just going to push myself to and fro. It's like, okay, nice. That was the only exciting moment, though.
Yeah, the competition itself wasn't that exciting.
Yeah, because I couldn't really tell where anyone is in relationship to the finish line. So you kind of like. I felt a little disconnected.
Yeah, I feel like we at least needed a couple more aerial shots of like, all right, I can see where the moving pieces are.
Yes, where are we? Am I excited? I don't know where anybody is, so it doesn't really mean anything to me. Yeah.
Right.
Avery was kind of funny, floating around. Like, I don't understand how she was going to spots that she didn't want to be in. Like, she kept like just floating across the thing. They're like, "Oh, Avery, where are you going?" She's like, "I don't know. I'm getting over here." It's like, what is happening? Like. A runaway cart?
It depends, because some of the, you go grocery shopping sometimes, and that cart goes wherever it feels like going. So I don't know. I
not like leagues across the thing. I mean, like she's like passing.
You got one wonky wheel, it's over.
Just freewheeling down a flat area. Like, what was she doing? I mean, she's just like.
That's what I was. That's actually something I was wondering, because like, do you think that there might have been like a slight incline on this course? Because like, did you notice at one point Ace was like about to win? We saw Jay go past him and he won for the men. But then Ace like had a screw up at one point, to the point where he rolled so far away down the course that like, unless he pushed himself off with force, unless he pushed himself off of something with force, I don't see how he could have rolled that far away in the opposite direction of where he was supposed to be going.
There was a guy, and it could have been him. There was a guy though that did kind of move himself because he didn't want to win or didn't want to be in the something group or something like that.
It wasn't Ace though. Ace definitely was trying to win this. Yeah.
All right.
I know this happened off stream, but Kyle, your voice notes about Ace were killing me.
Like, he just seems like just dirty. like I'm sure he's very nice. It has nothing to do with him as a person, but like that shirt has always had like, I don't know, there's like paint stains on it. There's like little grease spots. Even the shorts that he has on looks like he's worn them since he walked in the challenge house. Like, it's just very off-putting. I just feel like he probably smells very undelightful.
Undelightful. The craziest description.
Your scent does not bring me delight.
Delight. Oh man. Delightful. Well, there you have it. Ace smells.
Or at least that's how I
allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah. So this was, I will say, while the challenge itself wasn't very exciting. Like, you know what was funny to me is that Laurel won for the women, and like we didn't like see her actually do anything in the competition, and then afterwards there was a confessional where she was like, I love challenges like this, how, you know, it's just so wonky and it's this and it's that. It's like we didn't even see Laurel get to compete.
I was gonna say, I literally like blinked and I was like, wait, why are we talking about how it's over and the winners are like, who won for the women? Like, I feel like I just missed her in this completely.
Because I feel like no one cared.
I literally blinked and she had already won, and I missed it until we got to, we were in the middle group, and I was like, wait, who's missing? I don't remember who won this.
Yeah. But yeah, and maybe they weren't focusing on it because it was a men's elimination day or whatever. Sure. But it's just
that's just kind of what I feel like it was. Yeah.
But so Jay and Laurel, they take this win. It was interesting. The only thing interesting, I guess, about the comp was that you had several different guys all looking to go into elimination, whether it was through winning the daily challenge or ending up in the losing group. And those were Jay, who ended up winning, Ace, who Jay overtook, and then Ryan and Derek also. They all came into this competition without stars and are feeling the heat. So they were going for it. Obviously, Jay and Laurel won. We saw Ace, Derek, Adam, Nicole, and Cara come in the middle group. And then in the losing group was Leroy, Steve, Ryan, Avery, Flora, Veronica. But obviously, Leroy, Steve, and Ryan were the three that were at risk.
Flora. Oh, I love Flora.
I've had enough of Flora. I've had enough of her.
Flora? What's your problem?
Because she gets in on people for like very small, like stupid reasons that I don't understand. Like at one point she was talking about how nasty it was that like Nicole was treating Laurel the way she was and leading her on and this and that. And then we've seen Laurel go to Cara multiple times to have conversations about it. And it eventually turns into a fight, like because Nicole finds out that Cara's talking to Laurel or whatever. And then they all start screaming at each other. And you'll see Flora being like, Cara, like she just needs to leave Nicole and Laurel alone. And it's like, you're making the same comments. Laurel's coming to Cara to talk to her about these things. Like, I don't know. I feel like Flora sends a lot of judgments out there, but does a lot of the same things as other people. That's all.
Okay.
So, yeah. That's my feeling on
I was
Flora.
trying to think of a fun Flora metaphor or something to liken her to, but I couldn't come up with anything. So. We'll get back to you.
Yeah.
Flora's floral arrangements.
Yeah, some kind of alliteration is pending.
Yeah,
you know
I was looking for it, couldn't find it, but get back to you.
What did you think of the celebration post Daily Challenge? Jay and Laurel got medals with TJ's face on them. They got big wreaths around their necks. There was champagne. What'd you think?
Performative poppycock. Just a bunch of nothing. Just go back to the house. Exactly why. Like
it would be different if there was some kind of like some kind of hoopla after like every competition, but it was literally like just this one. They were like, ah! It's like, why are we doing this right now?
It was really strange. And it was like, oh, Adam, you can come up here too. You don't have a star, but you can come up here. And it's like,
like, thanks a lot.
Yeah, it's like a half-assed planned performance. I don't know.
So
it was really
weird.
It was strange. Yeah.
It was bizarre. It was very bizarre, honestly. So following this daily challenge, obviously Jay was telling everybody he's going in to elimination 100%, no matter what. Doesn't matter what it is, who it is, he's going in. He's got to get his star. And we started to get the sense that it might be the Ocelots facing off against each other. Jay and Ryan. Ryan seemed game for it at first. Obviously, Steve, he was feeling pretty safe, so he went and took a shower. By the time he got out of that shower, Ace had a conversation with Jay. Ace had a conversation with Ryan. Ryan was starting to now sort of falter on his decision to go in against Jay, and things started getting kind of interesting. So what do you think? What do you think about all this? Any thoughts on this kind of stuff?
Well, I don't know that Ryan agreed to this as emphatically as some of the editing led us to believe upon the first watch. Like, I went and I rewatched some of it as I was eating dinner, and like Ryan was like, "Well, it looks like it was pretty much decided." So I just looked at Jay like, we're doing this, and I was like, this does not sound like a man who has his whole heart in it. You know,
Right,
like I
right.
think that he was pushed into this a little bit, and he didn't want to look like he was being a bad sport, and then he finally came to and was like, stop, hold on, stop, I don't really want to do this, y'all, and I think he's like, just cut it out.
Yeah, looking for any excuse to be out.
Yes, yeah, yeah. I don't know that he was ever as into this as Jay was, and I think, to be honest, I think that Jay was looking at Ryan like he's a layup, and that's why he was so jazzed about it. But I don't think you should be viewing Ryan as a layup. But that was the energy that I was kind of getting from that one. Raw slots. Like, if y'all say slot one more time, I never heard this word in my life, and I've already heard it too much. Raw slots. Don't ask me to spell it. Raw slots. Raw slots. Ocelots. Did you hear me say ocelot? It's like, enough now.
Oh my god.
I just I don't know why, and this might come into play later, but I don't know why people on this season are so comfortable saying when they're going to send themselves into an elimination before knowing what the elimination is. Like, I feel like we've seen that now a couple of times, even like with Laurel in the last episode. Like, she was like, yeah, I'm going against Cara, I'm gonna get her start, like, so amped about it the entire time, and then as soon as it comes time to go down, she was like, never mind. And now
I'm not
we
sure
see
that Laurel should have, but like I did understand Jay doing it though, because
but also, like, I understand his thought process of wanting to go in, but as soon as we saw what the elimination was, he and everybody else on the season was like, this is the worst possible elimination for Jay. So if you maybe hadn't taught such a big game about how you're going down, you wouldn't have felt backed into a corner that now you have to, especially after what just happened with Laurel. And it's like, well, now I have to put up or shut up because I don't want to look like that.
Yeah, no, you're right. But I think that is actually what prompted my name change on tonight, because I really appreciate the fact that he did stand by his word. He said not only that he was going to put himself in, but he also had said that I was going to take Leroy out. And the fact that he honored both, even though he's colorblind, even though his nose is all messed up, he's going to have to hold his nose going down. Like, that made me really fall in love with this guy.
No, it's great that he honored his promises. It's just he didn't have to back himself into a corner to put himself into a position to have to,
But do you think that at this stage in the game that was necessarily was it as bad as it was weeks ago? Because we are at the end now. It almost doesn't matter how much big of a game you speak. If you do believe that you are as close to this final as you are all saying that you are, you might as well at this stage.
Yeah,
I think of it almost as like the Survivor auction, right? Where the host, whether it's Jonathan or Jeff, will say, we have a certain number of items that will be auctioned off. You're not going to know when the last one is coming. So, but it could be between 5 items and 10 items. So somebody bids on that.
I think I'd
fifth
blow
one,
my
now
load on
it's
6. I'm done.
Is it,
bye.
Right. So, like, in Jay's mind, he's thinking this could be the literal last day that I can go get this.
That's all there.
Right.
And even if it's not the last day, who's to say that I'm going to win another daily challenge, or that I'm even going to come in the losing group? Maybe other people are going to throw it.
Yeah,
maybe I'll end up in the middle group.
Say I'm going to be in the position to have some control.
Yeah, but no, that's also fair.
Yeah. But I do hear what you're saying, Gina. And I'd be 110% on board if this was 3 weeks ago, because it's like, be quiet, you don't know yet. But now you might as well go home if you ain't going to be in the final. So
yeah, no, that's fair.
At least now you can sit alone on the plane and, get your snacks.
Get your snacks. So, yeah, Ryan, he's talking about backing out. Obviously, now Leroy and Steve are super pissed about this, because that means they now are squarely on the chopping block.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a conversation had about it before we got our vote for the nominations. And it was funny to me because there was a point where Steve asked Ace, what did Ryan promise you that you're like going out of your way to protect him so much? And I just I had to, just get this. So here,
it's not gonna be much. It's again. Tired of that.
Promise to Ryan to help you out, with.
I promise, it was. I just wanted to ride. I just told him I'd protect anything he wanted, whatever he wanted me to do. I would protect him anytime he wanted.
You said so much while saying nothing at all.
Why can't you just be like, listen, I told him I wouldn't put him in. I like him. I want to honor it. We're done. We're done.
Right.
Just dirty ass shorts. You see all that paint? All that grease? Did you look? There's paint stains on it. You're on TV, sir.
Oh my
It's
God.
not like you helped build the challenge house. It's unacceptable. Like,
You helped build the challenge.
yeah, it's not like he was walking around with a roller. You know what I mean? Like, you were riding, things were done. I mean, paint stains. I wouldn't even go to, like, community theater wearing that. Would you? We always pick out a nice out. Ooh, Meg Raylan tonight. He said, "Ooh, I'm gonna be on TV. These shorts are perfect." I just don't get it.
Oh my God, this shorts are perfect.
These shorts are perfect. I love these shorts.
Oh my God. Well.
God.
So
tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying.
You're not lying. You're not lying.
The second I got off course, put me back on. But I know.
You're not lying.
Oh wow.
Boy, wow. Okay,
you missed it.
We got to nominations. And this was an interesting little thing here. We had Nicole was voting. She voted in Leroy and who was it?
Steve.
Ryan and Steve. That's what it was. I wanted to make sure I got that right. It was Ryan and Steve because we know that Jay wanted to go against Ryan. Nicole and Jay are besties, so she voted the way he wanted by sending Ryan in. We had Derek voting for Leroy and Steve. We know we saw earlier in the episode how tight Derek and Ryan are, so of course he's not going to vote him in unless Ryan, I'm sure, would want him to. Then he would do it. Cara Maria voted in Leroy and Ryan purely because she just didn't want to send Steve in again because he's been into elimination multiple times already.
Yeah, leave him alone already. I'm sick of this.
Yeah. Adam voted Leroy and Steve. Now, he mentioned about how this was there was drama involved here because him and Steve have been working together. So this is going to come into play a little bit later. And then, of course, we had Ace, who tried to vote just Leroy. Before he then reluctantly voted Leroy and Steve.
This shit drove me up a wall.
I was like, are they really going to let that fly? Y'all not going to make this man vote?
Like, shit like this drives me insane. Because it's like...
Do you want to play the game or do you not?
Right, because how many times have we... How many times on these seasons have we seen somebody faced with an impossible decision where it's like, oh shit, now I have to vote in my number one. I promised this person like my allegiance, and now I can't give it to them because we see it all the time. People are like, ah, shit, I have to betray somebody. That's why we watch that. Really sucks.
That moment. Hours of television to watch somebody make one rough decision.
But like that is the game that you signed up to play. You know what you were signing up for. It's an all-stars season. This ain't your first rodeo. Why are we acting like, oh, you know what? I can't make this choice, so I'm not gonna. That's fine. Like as if that's gonna be totally okay for just you to now have to get out of voting for somebody that you were protecting. But everybody else who's ever been faced with this issue.
I'm not finishing my laundry. Right.
Yeah.
But everybody else who's ever had this issue has to make a decision. But just for you, it's okay. You can only vote one when everyone else votes two. That's fine.
Don't worry, Ace. No biggie. No biggie.
Like, what the hell? And then he was like, it's fine. You guys pick for
Don't worry, Ace.
You guys pick for me. That's not the game.
No, it's not the game.
It drove me nuts.
Yeah, Ace is just...
But hold on. We can't spend that much time on Ace if we're not going to talk about Adam, okay? Because he didn't just silently vote for Steve and just let that one go. Oh, no. He done told us this was a business transaction, and he said Steve is in a hard place right now, and I know I put him in a bad place, but that's just what it is. This is a game. That's what he said. That's what he said. Yeah.
I think you want us to remember that too. That's what he
said.
Oh,
yeah, of course. Oh, yeah.
I can't wait to get there. Well, let's start getting into that. So we got to elimination. It was Leroy and Steve down there, and Jay, man of his word, like we said, even though he is colorblind and has a broken nose that makes it hard for him to swim underwater, he still chose to go to an elimination that required him to swim underwater and work with colors. So,
king in training.
Yeah.
Not a prince,
So yeah, this, what did you think of this elimination? Did you like it?
Hated it.
Really?
Ooh, no, it was no, it was good for them. I hated watching it. I was so uncomfortable. I was cringing the entire time. It was so hard to watch. From the going down, like I also may have been a little high as I was watching it, but I just kept thinking, every time you go down, are you sure you're not going to like graze your head on the ladder or on those little rungs that were on the inside of it? Like I couldn't get outside of my head in
Yeah.
watching this go, and I was just cringing like the whole time, and then getting out, I'm thinking, oh gosh, please don't jump down, you're gonna bust your knees up.
I
But
was like, they're gonna shatter their kneecaps.
yes, but also be very careful on that ladder because it looks like it's metal and you could be slip, and that'd even be worse than that'd be worse than your intention to jump down, right? Because at least you were bracing for it, you knew how to fall. If you just slip, oh my gosh, your head could hit. I was just thinking of all the different ways somebody could get hurt, and I did not enjoy watching it.
Sure, that's fair.
But that does make a good elimination, though, right? I felt something, So did I dislike it? I don't know. Depends on what your definition of dislike is. But this was a tough one. This was hard.
Right.
This was a bona fide eliminate. Like this is real.
Yeah.
This is real.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. And so they had to dunk under the water several times, grab their puzzle pieces that were different shades of different colors, and then put them in order by shade out on the sand. And I'll tell you, Jay did a lot better in this than I would have thought he might have.
He sure did. Were they only able to grab one like batani thing at a time?
It seemed
That's
that
what
way.
it looked like. It okay.
Yeah.
I think so.
Just so many trips down. I mean, how many pieces were they? 15?
Oh my goodness! I think there was 3 poles. It might have been 15 because I feel like there was 3 poles. Right. There might have been 5 pieces on each.
Mm.
There's a world in where it could have been 6. It definitely was not 4.
Right. Right.
But like at least 15. That's a lot because that tower was high. I mean, you're going deep.
But it, like honestly, like I feel like the Jay's biggest problem was that he had to keep going back and diving in to get them after he was building when instead of like grabbing all the pieces ahead of time. But he was honestly building up the puzzle faster for someone who says he's colorblind. Like he was zooming through it and honestly doing really, really well. If he had just grabbed all the pieces beforehand, he might have won it.
Yeah. It's certainly possible.
He did a lot better than I thought he was going to.
It was close. I think. Yeah. Like I think he was only actually a couple pieces away. The difference was that he had to go back into his tank to actually dive down and get them, whereas Steve had already done the work of getting them out of the tank and then just putting them all together. So
well, that's what I'm saying. If they both had that same strategy, I think he easily could have won it.
That was really up there. The same thing with the whole Cam and Kara elimination too.
Which one was that again?
That was just
the cage balls. With the balls. Yeah.
Yeah. If you got the balls down to the hole and then get them in that little, I think in the basket or the chute or whatever it was. Had Cam done that from the beginning, she actually might have won that one too.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. She had already started putting balls in well before Kara was. That could also be because, she didn't finish getting all the balls. So who knows?
Yeah.
But it would have been a lot more evenly matched. But,
right. No, definitely. But yeah, so Steve did win. This was his, 3rd elimination win, right? I think he had been in 2 already.
I would have said
4. Oh, I just feel like he's been that. No, I could be totally wrong. I just feel like every time we turn around, it's Steve.
Wow.
But that may not really be. It just.
I think he's been like. I think there have been a lot of situations where like he's on the chopping block, but I don't know that he's played in all of them. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I have a lot of respect for that man. I didn't come into this season thinking very much of Steve, but watching how he handles some of these things that we would say are like pretty egregious, like socially, and the way he handles it with such grace. Like the fact that the biggest moment of Steve is obviously his win, but also not flipping out over the Adam thing and his vote for him or anything like that. It was really about the relaxing shower that he took. And I'm like, I am just so endeared towards him.
Yeah.
Like, I just went in there with my almond shower scrub. And like, it was a very light shower. It's just refreshing. And it's like, but you're so specific about your light shower. Like, I love this man all of a sudden.
It's crazy too. Cause I'm like looking at our teams now. none of us drafted him. I was gifted him. And
I would
like
have
thinking about like
him just
yeah,
on
like
that. I was
I
like,
am
oh my
so
gosh,
much more
shower.
endeared towards him than I expected.
Right before we went live, that's what I said I wanted to say. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to take a nice shower and just slip into bed. Like that is
Yeah.
absolutely that is how I relax. Oh man,
I definitely like him a lot. I mean, granted, I didn't know a lot of these people, but like I'm like watching the show and being like, the fact that nobody drafted him, I got him by default, is wild.
yeah, I would happily take him going forward.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think Steve's great. We could be best friends. You take your shower, I'm gonna take my shower, and then we'll be really ready to relax.
And then we'll talk about how great our showers were.
Exactly.
While
What
we're
did you do during your shower? And don't get explicit. Yeah, he seems like
I
a
just love
really
it.
cool ass guy. He really does. I'm so endeared towards him.
Mm.
I've really enjoyed your description of Ace being like this dirty slob, stain-covered, smelly man, and then just like Steve and your favorite thing being about how he
His
likes
showers.
to take a nice shower and relax.
Listen,
Listen,
I
and
am
one thing about
nothing if
Kyle, he'll
not-
be consistent.
I just have to say, I am nothing if not consistent and authentic. Like,
Oh my god.
yes.
Oh,
I didn't even
man.
think about that, but that's fantastic.
That's so
very
funny.
Yeah. Let's go take a shower and we're all good. I got no problems with Ace. Well, I don't think he should be playing these games.
Yeah.
No, he's not cut out for it. This is not. He's cut out for old school challenge at best, and even that was a stretch. But this man does not want to play the social end of the game.
Yeah, he cannot handle the social
No, he
politics.
can't handle. He does not have the constitution for it. So you shouldn't be here. Although it does make for some really fun TV. So like, as long as
you
there's
say
not
fun TV, I just find myself irritated. I'm like, if you can't do
I'm
this, why are you
irritated,
here?
but what I do like is that the situation he creates is a lot of like wild card moments, like because you really don't know what he's gonna do, and I find that exciting. Like, all right, here's the vote. So what is he gonna say? Listen, can I just give you one name? And it's like, what are you talking about? Like, yes, it's infuriating, but at the same time, it's also like it's kind of fun to watch.
I guess.
Like, are y'all really gonna let this fly? What
See,
y'all
I
gonna
don't
do?
have fun watching
Like-
it. I just get annoyed.
I'm annoyed, but I do enjoy watching how other people navigate around his shenanigans. I think that's a better way to put it. Yeah. It's not him. It's how other people still have to like, all right, well, I'm still trying to play this game. So what do I do about the fact that Ace is not? But he's
like,
here.
oh my god. The
Like,
other
I
thing
gotta
about
deal with
that,
it, you know?
the other thing about that deliberation that drove me nuts is that his whole thing was like he put it on everybody else. Like, you guys pick what my second name is going to be. That'll be fine. And then they did, and he was like, "No, I don't like that. I'm going to do the other one." And I was like, okay, so you clearly have preference. So why didn't you just say that?
Yes, yeah. He sucks, but I still like him a little bit. I just wish he would take a shower. Like,
Now, here's what I want to know also, because Ace, I agree, is a mess. But after Steve beat Jay in this, Steve stole Adam's star and gifted it to Ace, which meant that for the second time in this game, Ace has been gifted a star. And we also, after this elimination, saw Flora calling Ace an undercover agent. So is he actually terrible socially, or is he an undercover super agent socially that keeps being given stars?
You see, and unfortunately, I don't know that we'll ever get the answer to that, you know, because in the Big Brother Survivor environment, we get the jury speech, right? If we get to the end, we get to understand what your intentions were. I don't get the impression that any of this is actually Ace's intention, but that also doesn't necessarily mean that he's playing the game poorly, right? We can do a lot of things unintentionally that still work in our favor. So maybe there's a world in which that's the case. But I would like to see that it was intentional. I would like to see that is what you wanted to do the entire time.
Yeah, it
not just
definitely feels to me he's
happenstance.
stumbling into it by accident. But
Yes.
I also like, I would sooner say that, like, I don't know. I feel like if I was in that position and people were just gifting me stars, and if I wasn't doing anything to make people think socially they need me there, I'd be like, they think I'm shit in competitions and they want to compete against me in the final, you know?
And I'm going to show them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, because now that you're saying that, there was a moment at the beginning of the episode. He's like, I don't know how I'm going to get a star, but I'm going to get one. And then Steve steals one and gives it oh, I'm sorry, I didn't want to spoil your flow here, but steals one and gives it now to Ace, and then he's like, oh man, I don't deserve it. There was
That's
a
the thing.
little
He
bit.
immediately was like, I don't deserve
That's
it.
what he said, but there was a trickiness to that smile. There was a trickiness. I said, do you really believe you don't deserve it? What you doing, Ace? And I was like, nah, I'm giving you too much credit, but I don't know now. I don't know.
Because wasn't there, I'm trying to remember like how he lost the star. Didn't he like volunteer for someone to take it? Like, yeah, no, I shouldn't have this. You take it. Like
that is when we got the whole Brad and Adam will go down. These 2 knights will go down and compete for this star. He was talking about his own star during that, and it was after that that Adam, I think, took the star from Ace and sent Brad home. So, I would just want to look. So I will say, because Steve gave some explanation about why he chose Ace. He said he didn't want Derek to get a star because Derek voted him in. Obviously, doesn't want Adam to get the star, or doesn't want Adam to keep the star because Adam voted him in.
Yeah, fuck Adam.
Doesn't want to give it to Ryan because Ryan backed out of going into elimination, which then forced Steve to have to compete. So Ace, I guess, is the one that's left. Although it is funny that as reluctantly as it is that how we got there, Ace did also vote for Steve to go into elimination. Obviously he didn't want to. It took a lot of work to get him there, but at the end of the day, each of these people were technically guilty of something. So, and I think Steve could have just as easily stolen a woman's star and given it to another woman. He didn't have to stick with giving it to Ace. So
yeah, I guess he could have. There is still something to it, but you know what? If I was Steve, first of all, fuck Adam, right? Fuck Adam. You were supposed to be my friend, and you did this. Ace, at least it was reluctant. At least we struggled. Adam did not.
Yeah.
So there's that. And it's like, do you really want to jump into the girls' drama? Because you don't know what's coming next. And if we just did men, it's also possible it's girls next. Don't be fucking with them ladies. Leave them alone. Let them play their game. You play your game. Leave them alone. I thought every single reason that Steve had totally checked out.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I agree.
Love Steve. And it wasn't for Jay's very honest, I stick to my word nature. It would have been Steve's hyphenated name on tonight. But
fair enough.
Jay just going in as a colorblind person, going into a challenge where like color was key.
Yeah, literally knowing the odds were completely stacked against you and you were probably leaving. Still was like, no, well, I said I'm going to do it, so I got to do it.
We do not see that in the challenge. We just don't.
We don't see that in most of the shows. Yeah.
Yep, there it is. We don't. So it's like that really, I said, okay, all right. I really discounted you a lot because you don't eat well, right? We saw that in that one final. Like, I feel like you kind of like played Jenna out of it. Because I love Jenna. Protect Jenna at all costs. Zach was always watching. We're always watching. So like I was not really too keen on Jay going into this, but now I'm a Jay fan for sure.
Yeah. And that's the thing that's funny about this elimination, which was called Shish Kastak. I think I forgot to mention that. Shish Kastak. TJ had a lot of fun saying that.
I didn't get it.
It's also just a bad name.
It's stupid.
I guess they were stacking these things that could be comparable to shish kebabs, I guess.
I know, but this is
but there was a better pun in there you could have found.
Yeah.
Like that's what we landed on. That's the best we could have done.
Well, they gave up because this is episode 10 or 12. They said, hey, Shishka stack. What time is it? Y'all ain't getting no tea. Is it good enough? It's good enough.
Oh God. Oh man. I don't even remember what I was going to say. Oh, I remember. I think I was going to say that it's funny because this elimination, we saw Jay and Steve going, against each other. And we've been talking about how much we, have really, grown to like Steve on this season. So I didn't want to see him lose and go home, but there is definitely a big part of me that wanted to see Jay win and be rewarded for not going back on his word. Cause then there was a point where someone said after it, actually it might've been Cara, was like, really love Steve, really love Jay for sticking to his word. But unfortunately, that's great in this game, but unfortunately it also keeps you broke. And it's like, it'd be nice to see it pay off for someone.
Yeah, but I like it better the way that it ended because I don't see Steve coming back for a main stage challenge, right? He's not going to be on the 40, 41, 42, where Jay might be. So if somebody had to lose, the person I feel like has a greater chance of returning, it's probably Jay.
Yeah.
I feel like the older people, you never know if they're going to be able to come back because they have like, not saying that Jay doesn't have real life responsibilities. You know what I mean? Like, you know, the older people are older. They have children's and
Yeah.
things. They have, lots of reasons to stay home.
And I will say that, TJ, when saying goodbye to Jay, he didn't say, I hope we see you again in the future. He said, I know that we're going to see you again in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So that should tell you something.
Well, and TJ even called him out too, didn't he? I don't remember if it was before the competition when he like first said that he was going to go down. He was like, Jay a couple of years ago was not doing this. Like
Yeah.
he called
Right.
him out too.
Yeah, because he sucked back in the day. But now he's a man. He grew up. And we love you.
Oh, man.
Not the batting of the eyelashes.
Stupid.
Wow. So, did you have anything? Did we talk enough about the Adam tantrum and everything you said?
No, we didn't get to it.
No, we didn't get into it.
I thought I was still waiting. I was exciting.
Well, here's what Adam had to say about Steve's action. I don't think I'll play the whole clip because it's like 30 seconds long.
No, I think it's worth it. Let's give it a gander.
All right, here's Adam. Mr.
Adam's
this is a
fit.
business transaction. It's a game. Here we go. Here's Adam.
I feel betrayed. Once again, Steve has won another elimination where somebody else is at a significant disadvantage. He's going to come out of here thinking he's some kind of legend, and the stories he will tell will probably be as accurate as the rest of his stories. There's also a reason that you don't have any friends. In real life and here. I'll never answer a phone call from you. I will delete every text. You are just so dead to me, man. You're no longer my number one, but you can sit and spin, bitch.
Unbelievable. Absolutely.
What the hell was
unbelievable. Like, you are so angry. You're talking about this is supposed to be a real friendship you've had for 20 years, and that's how you talk about your friend. That's how you talk about your friend. I dare one of my 20-year-old friends to talk to me like I would punch you directly in the throat. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what kind of a friend are you? After you're the one who put him in a situation that allowed him the opportunity to do this. He couldn't even have the chance to do this if you didn't fuck him over. What? You're no longer my number one. I wasn't your number one when you voted me into an elimination. What? Like, never mind the star. Elimination. Like, it's crazy. Like this man is like, you sit on it and spin, bitch. Yo, fuck you.
It's like,
what is that? That's wild.
Adam sent Steve down there, not even at a time where it was like Steve desperately needed to go in and try to get his star. It was like he's already got it. Mm-hmm. Adam sending him in might not only cause him to lose his star, but to go home entirely.
What a punk. What an absolute punk. He sucks.
Steve, I'm sure it sucks to get your star stolen, especially late in the game, but at least your game's not over like you might have done to Steve.
Right. It does suck to get your star stolen, but like at any point of the game, certainly more so now, but like there was no part of you that thought that was a possibility. Like, if you've known this person for 20 years, you've got to know that they can be a little spiteful or whatever, but it's not even spite. It's not even spite. It's not even about revenge. It's just like, I'm doing to you what you did to me. Like, I don't understand. How did you not see that as a potential consequence for having made this decision? Like, and going forward, I would want nothing to do with playing with this man. If I was anyone else playing this game, watching him have made this decision, now rewatching this back and watching that DR, I am so done with you, sir. Like, how could I ever trust you? If you screwed over your 20-year-old friend and thought he didn't have a right to clap back at you, if you sat back and said, well, I got mine, I shouldn't have did what I did, there's some potential for us to work together, right? Because you understand the risk and reward of the decisions that you make. But this, please.
Yeah.
Please. Like, this isn't even fun, bad decision making. Like, at least Ace, we can find some entertainment in. This was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that tantrum, I watched that clip probably about 80 times. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, you were in the group chat like I rewound that over and
over and over and over again. But you know, I just love when somebody is just absolutely just crashing the ship. This is why we like to watch, you know, clips of Trump.
Well, I don't know about like.
I hate watch those.
I hate watch them, but I do watch and I do rewind. So what does that mean?
I have
you
to
call it
watch
what you will, but I am entertained. I'm disgusted, but I'm entertained and I'm rewinding. So
yeah. No, absolutely. By the way, Gina and I think we talked about this last week. That apparently Adam, did you hear this? Adam and Avery are in like a relationship now outside the game.
Right.
Did you hear about this?
Right.
No.
Yeah. Apparently they posted some pictures together on a vacation, and Avery's dog was there, and at least one of the photos featured them kissing. So
Well, I think we looked it up and they had like publicly said it or something.
Yeah. I guess for sure it's legit. It's legit.
Okay. Well, you know, good for them. I wish them many, many happy years. That's fine. You know. I'm not going to define the man on the one bad thing that he did that I didn't like. I didn't really have a problem with him before. So, like, you know, I thought this behavior sucked in this one episode. That doesn't mean you're a terrible person. So, you know, whatever. You still deserve to be happy, even if you suck. Don't be happy. Just don't be offensive to people and have a nice life. Enjoy the dog.
You still deserve
There you go.
Even though you suck.
There you go.
Everybody deserves to be happy. They're alive.
That's right. Yeah. So we ended this episode, obviously, Adam's star stolen by Steve, given to Ace. And the remainder of the star holders are Cara, Steve, Veronica, Nicole, and Leroy. That's where we're at.
Yo, mad props to Veronica for holding on to that sucker. Okay? Because we would have, right? I would have thought she'd be first out.
She
does a great job. I fucking love her.
She obviously had to work herself out of some trouble when Nicole almost went down and faced her instead of Jasmine in that elimination.
That was crazy.
After that,
she did it. She did it though.
She survived, and after that, she has become the biggest benefactor in the house of all the drama that has surrounded Cam, Cara, Laurel, and Nicole. Because while Laurel, Cam, and Nicole have been busy targeting Cara, think about it. Veronica's had her star. The other star has gone between Cara, Cam, and Nicole. And Laurel was dead set on going in against Cara too. So all those people that were vying for those stars, those two stars, have just been ignoring Veronica over here. She has been clear since that moment she had to talk Nicole out of, going against her in elimination.
Good for her. Good for her.
Yeah,
I love it.
Veronica.
How do you say Leroy's girl's name?
Cam.
How do you say it, Gina?
I was like, what? How do I say it?
Yeah.
I say like Cam.
Yeah, I say Cam. Yeah, John says it like Ty.
Cam.
I like Cam.
Cam.
But all right. On the next coming up, we see, obviously, we just talked about it. Adam feels betrayed by Steve. Leroy, he's dreaming about becoming a challenge champ finally.
I think he's going to win.
You think so?
Just because of the way the edit has been. There's been a lot of, I've got to win this. This is for my family. We know from watching the challenge for so long that Leroy has always been hungry for a win, always kind of in the shadow of Bananas. It's feeling like it just should be, or else what was all this hype all season about? All we kept hearing is like, I have to win for my family. It just feels like that's where it's headed.
Yeah, edits like that are either like a winner's edit or a really, really devastating loss.
Oh, God.
And I don't want that for him.
I know.
Send him out before we get to the final. Then I don't want to see that for him. Like, let it be that it's always his story that he gets burned right before the final. I don't want to see him fail a final. If he goes to the final, he must win, or else don't even put him in there. I don't want my baby's confidence to be rocked. Okay, because I want him to come back and still be ready to go. Okay.
I'd love a Leroy win because he was my first draft pick.
Ah.
Yeah.
So let's look at everybody's teams.
Let's give it a gander. I don't really want to see mine. Ace.
Yeah, I've got Leroy, Laurel, Ace, Adam, and Veronica. Look at that.
You're doing amazing.
Uh-huh.
You have so many people. You still have more than half. That's disgusting.
Gina actually is in the same boat. Has lost. Gina did take a hit in this episode with Jay leaving.
She did.
But other than that,
Could
Gina
this
has lost.
possibly be my first draft win? I was so close with Survivor.
Listen, for the gag, I kind of hope not. I'm enjoying
One of
the
these
fact
days
that
I
you've
have to
never
win a
won.
draft.
Right. I kind of hope, and I don't think you deserve to win a challenge one. If you're going to win one, maybe you can win claim to fame.
I don't deserve.
Or
How do
even
you
a Big
draft and
Brother.
claim to fame?
You just draft people. I mean, it's basically as blind as you purport your challenge draft to be. So basically,
Maybe
just
that's the
pick
secret to my
anyone.
success is not knowing who
Maybe.
anybody is.
I would support a Gina Big Brother win. The challenge that you profess to know nothing about, you should not win.
So if I win, does it not count?
Oh no, win is a win. It absolutely counts. I'll just always go undeserved. No, no. If you win, you win. I'm not gonna win this one. I think
You
I'm
could
out.
still.
Good.
Listen, all you need is one. I know, but
Yeah, but you
and
got two pretty strong.
I do have Cara, and I will say the way that I do see this ending, I think it's going to be Leroy or Cara who wins this one.
Okay.
I think those are our two. And if Laurel had a star, I'd feel differently about her.
Right. Oh.
I just don't know what's going to happen now. I think Laurel would absolutely have a shot, but right now, like she literally doesn't. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, it's hard to say how much the Nicole relationship has. I don't think that Laurel's having the same type of season she would if Nicole wasn't there. But like, I don't know if you can directly blame the relationship that she's had with this season on not having a star yet. I don't really know how many chances Laurel's had. She hasn't really come in the losing group much. I think it's only that one time, right, that she was in the winning group and had a choice to go down and just didn't think the game was for her. So like, but I don't know. I just feel like Laurel not having a star yet. All the drama that's gone on with Nicole. This has not been the Laurel season I was hoping for. No. I would have picked Cara first for the women if I was able to. If you hadn't picked her, but once Cara was gone, I had to pick Laurel. So,
listen, I'm a big Laurel fan. I love Laurel. I've loved her from the beginning. I still think that her backing out of that challenge though was a little lame. I agree. Lame because she said, she wanted something physical. That is what that was. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe not. There was really no mental element to it at all, other than the planning of get your balls to the end first before starting to go. But like, if you're moving fast enough, that wouldn't matter,
right?
Like it'd make it easier, but like, you still could win if that wasn't your strategy. So like. It did seem pretty physical to me, and I feel like we panicked.
Yeah, I agree.
So, just to be fair.
And also, I think we were saying last week, too, it kind of like screwed her socially, too. Because like moving forward, now Cam's pissed off. Everybody now thinks that you don't stand by your word. Like you really kind of, like by talking such a big game about how you were going to go in and then not doing it, like.
She did tweet after the fact that if there's ever a situation where she's playing the challenge again with Cam and she can make a decision that will benefit Cam's game, even if it's at her detriment, she said she would make that decision.
Everyone says that, though, like it's tough to.
Yeah, and even though she just did renege and we're literally actively talking about that, I still kind of like believe that because I don't think there is any benefit to her saying that in the off season. Like how many? Because like you can say whatever you want to say on TV because that's what everyone's watching, and they're gonna make their character judgments based on that. But when you say it offline on Twitter, where like there's only us super fans around, it kind of feels a little bit less performative, especially in the challenge universe. Like Big Brother, we know that they're watching a little bit more, they're paying a little bit more attention to it. The challenge, I don't think it's. I'd like to believe she was being honest.
Yeah.
but I'll always defend her. So
I do think that she's being honest in the moment. I also think a lot could depend on if that season comes that they're both there for. How do things unfold? Does Cam piss Laurel off before Laurel gets to make that move for her? You know, does Cam not vote a certain way that Laurel wants?
If Cam pisses her off before she gets made that decision, I mean, that could be said for anything. Like, I could say that you're my best friend in the world, then you fucking burn me. And it's like, well, no, you're not. Right? So, like,
right.
But you are also right. I mean, there was already precedent. She already said she would do something and then she didn't do it. So I'm always going to have that question in my mind.
Right.
So.
Right. It's like, are you just looking for an out?
Mm-hmm. So I guess we'll see. But I still find her to be more trustworthy than most in this game.
Yeah. All
right. Like, I don't know. She's still new to me. I'm a C.
Well, no, I mean, honestly, it's funny because we were talking about this last week, and this is one of those conversations that I wish you were there for. But because I was saying, like, y'all, like, because I know John was like very upset with Laurel last week, and we were talking. I was like, I'm gonna be totally honest. Like, you guys are always so hyped to see Laurel. I have seen Laurel 2 times, and the first time, the entirety of her game was spent like not really putting up, like, it's not like a put up or shut up, because she was crying over a relationship that she had with one of the guys in the house. And now this time she's not really putting up because she's crying over a relationship that she has with one of the women in the house. So it's like the Laurel that I'm seeing is just somebody that lets her relationships with people cloud her actual game. So I haven't really seen her be the contender that everybody always tells me that she is,
Mm-hmm.
Which, like, it's funny that, like, that is my perception when you guys have such a different perception, but that's all I really think of her.
Well, that's what I think is interesting, and I wish you would sometimes share your perception more, because that's why
I shared it last week. You just weren't here to hear it.
Oh, finally. We finally got Gina's challenge opinion that was completely hers, and I missed the one time we got it. How dare you?
I'm bringing it up again now so we can talk about it as a family.
Good, and then let's do it. I'm just saying, I was trying to encourage you until you brought it here. Anywho, I do agree, but I also think that in the past, though, the challenge was a little bit of a different game, and there wasn't as much of a social element. Everything was physical, and so much of it was based on, well, how did you perform in a challenge, and that will affect how I'm voting.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter what the theme of that season was, it was still so honor based.
Sure.
So even if and that's why Bananas was always, just for the extra context, that's why he was viewed as like so chaotic, and why Wes was viewed as so chaotic, because they were the ones who try to use the social thing, like, well, why are we doing this? We don't have to do this. Just vote with me and we can manipulate this a little bit. And everybody's like, that's not how we play the challenge. And it's like, no, but it could be if you just got on board. And my standing of Laurel came during that time, because she always put up. So all this other stuff was just like relationship drama on The Real World. It didn't really matter. It was good TV, but it didn't have anything to do with the game. It's interesting to see how that's not serving her as well now. Yeah.
I do also think
it's just an interesting conversation.
Yeah. I do also think that the seasons, like Laurel being there with Nicole, like, that's one couple that's maybe one of the most toxic in the history of the challenge, right? So, like,
it always looked like this,
right? It's unfortunate that that's happening this season, that Gina's getting to watch Laurel. But even the last one that Gina saw with Laurel on it, Ride or Dies, right? I think Laurel was with her friend Jack. Is that the name? Mm-hmm. Right? That was Laurel's Ride or Die, and that was a very different game too. Whereas I feel like we're at least getting to see Laurel get some daily challenge wins and stuff like that in this season. Whereas in Ride or Dies, you played with your partner no matter what, right? And I don't think that Jack was necessarily the strongest partner. Not that Jack was terrible, but like, I don't think that Jack was like one of the top contenders there, even being paired with Laurel. And then the only other time that Gina's had a chance to see Laurel, it was when she came in as a mercenary, right? Because she came in,
which like doesn't really count.
Which doesn't really count. So I feel like it's just the seasons that we've gotten Laurel on recently, This one, I think I would chalk up to her not being quite herself, maybe. But even the other 2 times, just coming in as a mercenary, being stuck with a partner that's not really up to your capabilities, I feel like is like an unfair, like light to try to see how Laurel really operates. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, and I would also add that there were also some seasons, and again, a lot of them blurred to me, but I feel like sometimes when you nominated somebody for elimination, they also got to pick who went down there with them. And sometimes from the voting group. So no one was going to vote her in because no one wanted her to call them out. So there was always like other reasons that like Laurel's game always looked like impenetrable, unless it was by her own doing. So yeah, I don't really know that we're getting a different Laurel today. I think this is the Laurel that we always knew, but just different consequences now. People play different.
True. Very true. All right. There was only one other thing that I had about the challenge that I wanted to talk to you guys about tonight. And it's not even about this episode. It's just about something that Cara Maria posted on Instagram this past week.
What does she have?
I'm not sure if you saw it, but
I don't think I did.
Cara actually mentioned that while she was competing on All Stars 4, she was actually dealing with a 16 centimeter hard mass in her like abdomen. And so she was dealing with this throughout the season, apparently, was pushed by some doctors to go on like hormones or have surgeries done, things like that. She said no, and she went with fibroid embolization. And she said that the mass that she was dealing with has now shrunk to almost non-existent. And she's been able to like do it in a much healthier way and all that. But she said that a lot of fans and people that watch the challenge reach out to her, other women that have had similar issues and stuff. So it's just interesting. I know that we talk a lot about sometimes how certain people are dealing with certain things, and this was just another one that I feel like shows Cara is such a bad. All the women on this season are such badasses. I feel like.
Yeah.
Right.
But so yeah, that was it.
Damn, I cannot imagine competing in such a heavily physical game dealing with something like that, like a health issue.
Yeah, and still giving us such good DRs and stuff too. Like she's still been
She's so fun. Like I really enjoy watching her.
Oh, good. I'm glad that's your opinion of her. I didn't know how that would go.
Yeah.
Because she's pretty new to you, isn't she? She's brand new. Other than
this is the first real season I've seen her play.
Right. Oh, I love that. That's your impression of her. Good. Yeah,
we were saying too last week, like because we were talking about how like a lot of the people on this cast have such like vitriol towards her. Like they're always like so nasty. They can't stand her. Like, and I don't remember if we had said this on stream or off stream afterwards, but like to me at least, it feels like she's getting like the Amber B treatment. It's like, would you leave her alone? She hasn't done anything. She's playing the game you signed up to play, and you're mad about it because she's doing it better than you.
Yeah, and I think it's extra with Cara in a way because Amber B arrived a winner, right out of the gate. That wasn't Cara's story. Cara was like kind of an underdog. She showed up on like, I think, was it Fresh Meat 2? She wasn't on the first
Fresh
one,
Meat 2, yeah.
Yeah, she was definitely on one of the Fresh
Meat 2.
And like she wasn't really treated as anything like serious. And all of a sudden, she just like showed back up. Was that maybe Battle of the Bloodlines when she played with her cousin?
Maybe.
I think that may have been her first win or something. No, I'm not really sure. I'm about to get canceled. But she came back on whatever season it was, which is her first win, because that was one of the first times they did like an individual winner too, like at least of that era. And it was no one saw it coming. It was amazing. And then like she's just been on like that top tier trajectory the entire time. Like when she got up there, she never like dropped down. So I think it's a little bit of like just resentment even towards that. She literally started from the bottom and now she's here. And people can't stand it because people don't rise like that.
Because we were saying too, like similarly to like the ace thing that we were saying earlier of like, this is the game you signed up for, shut up about it and deal with it. Like everybody's so mad. I feel like all of the DRs that we're saying, I'm just going back and saying exactly what I said last week, but like all of the DRs that we're getting with people talking about Cara are like, yeah, I just can't stand her. Like all she does is manipulate everybody else to make moves that are beneficial to her. And it's like that's the
game though. And maybe
like you do it then. Yeah. Why are you then? That's exactly why
what
she's
else are
here.
we here for? You dumbass. Like, it's just so stupid. But again,
Every time they say that, I'm like,
jealousy.
she's playing the game you signed up
Jealousy.
for. What, you're just mad that she's doing it better than you.
Yeah,
There
that's
was-
what it is. She wasn't supposed to be better. She was supposed to be that easy beat. She was supposed to be that layup. Who do you think you are? Coming back, winning, beating us, playing better than me?
Yeah.
That's the issue.
That scene from the vote, was it last week or a couple weeks ago, where Laurel is screaming in Kara's face outside and Nicole is yelling at her from the other side or whatever. It was so funny to me because I Nicole has said this a couple of times, but like they're out there supposed to be deliberating about what these votes should be. Of course, Kara is going to make the best case for herself. And Nicole just starts going off and yelling at her like, you're so selfish. You're just trying to protect your star. And it's like,
yeah,
what are you trying
that's
to do?
Why I'm
are you
here.
trying to protect? Yeah, like that's the whole
That's the
point of
point.
being here. Like
I have this star. I don't really want it. Like, what do you?
Right.
What is that? Stupid.
Right. Like people yelling about how selfish and manipulative Kara is, as if she's doing anything different than anyone else there,
As if
trying
that's
to
not the
get a
whole
star
purpose
to
of the
run the
game.
final, to win $250,000. That's why everyone is there. Why would you expect her to do anything that
other than that
reduce her chances?
And we were
of
saying
winning?
too, like we were saying last week, it's so funny because like everyone keeps saying she's so selfish, but to my memory, every single time that she lays out a plan of like, this is what I think we should do, she also says, all right, here's what I think. Of course, it's beneficial to me, but it can also help you by X, Y, and Z. So she
she
comes
shows you what
prepared.
the benefit is for you.
Yeah. So like,
What
it's
more
not
do you
like,
want?
yeah, of course, like her overall motive is like, I want to protect myself, but also
Right, I'm
like,
not going to
help
propose
me
a
help
plan that
you.
hurts me.
Yeah,
Right.
but help me help you. This is how you can also benefit from this and why you should do it because it's a good idea for you too. So to say that she's being selfish with all of her moves, it's like she's also telling you how you're going to benefit.
Right. She treats it like a genuine business transaction.
Yeah.
Thanks, Adam.
Yeah. Not
Yeah.
totally. But all right, you guys have anything else? I think I'm all out.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was fun though. It was good to have the three of us back together to talk the challenge. So, all right. I guess we're just looking forward to the next episode. We'll see what happens. The race for a star is heating up here, even more than it's been so far. So, we'll see when we get our last 6 star holders, when that actually happens, and what they have to do to get there. But yeah. And then what else do we have coming up? Next week we're still just one stream.
I think so. Yeah.
Right. So that'll be next Thursday, June 13th, 2024 at 9 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be talking the Challenge All-Stars 4. And of course, if you want to find us on the socials, you can do so at StratChatPod. We're on all the social media platforms, so go find us. Leave us a nice review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. That would be really nice. I'm going to throw one of these out there because we weren't here on Monday.
Monday.
All right. And I think that's it. So thanks, everybody, for hanging out. We'll see you next week. Take care.
Lido.